Welcome to episode 2 of Dan in the podcast. And we left him off last time. He fractured his wrist and then he healed his wrist, so he's okay now. So the next thing he did was he was getting kind of tired of living in a dusty and rusty old cave. So what he decided to do, well, it did flood last episode. So what he did was he got all his stuff in there. It was all mushy and soggy, and all the wood from his crafting table was just bleh, mush, so he couldn't take that. He took the rest of the stuff because the rest of the stuff was okay, like the apples and saplings and the sticks. But the logs were yet also soggy. So yeah, he took all the stuff except for the logs and the crafting table, brought it up there, and then he decided, I'm gonna go off adventuring and find a spot for my house. So we started walking, walking, and walking. Just kept walking. He was getting kind of hungry, so he ate an apple. Kept walking, walking. He was getting kind of thirsty, so he saw a river, and he came to the river and he got some water. So he kept walking and walking until he found this perfect spot. On one side, there was a river leading to an ocean. On one side, it was perfectly flat, and on the other side, it was a forest. So he decided, I'm going to build my house right there, right where it's flat. So he went down and got some stone, and then with that stone, he built a house. Well, he made a mine, got stone, and then built a house. Then he didn't really like it, but it was going to do for then because the sun was starting to go down. And it was getting dark. So he had to go with this cube house. So he went in, put his stuff in, went out, chopped down some trees, got some logs, made himself another crafting table, put it down, and then with the stone that he had left, he made a furnace. Then he put it right there, then he went out, and he had to kill some chicken. He was grateful for the chicken, but he had to do it to survive. So he got the chicken, brought it over to the house, and then put it in the furnace. But wait, he doesn't have any coal to light the furnace. So he goes back down into his mine, gets some coal, just keeps mining for a while, gets coal, goes back up, and then lights the furnace. So now the furnace is going. He lit it with the torch. No, he lit the coal with the torch, and now the furnace is going and cooking chicken for him. So he put his apples in the chest. So I think he has 4 or 3 now. Not sure. Can't remember. Bad memory. So he did that. Then he thought, I feel like I should be prepared for if someone else comes and tries to attack me. So he went out adventuring while he waited for his chicken to cook. He went out pretty far, and then he found this watchtower. He went and climbed up inside. Then inside he found a pistol with an ammo case of 12 bullets. He said, I should probably save this. So he puts both of those in his pocket. Loads the pistol, but puts safety on. And then puts it in his pocket. It's a one-shot pistol, by the way. So, yes. He could only load 1. So now he has 11 with 1. So, he starts heading back, and then he hears a whine. And he sees paw prints. So he follows the paw prints, and then he looks in a bush. And he finds a puppy. There's a puppy whining because he has a thorn in his paw. So Lumpy's like, alright, hi puppy. I'm gonna get this thorn out of your paw. So he grabs the thorn, just gently and delicately yanks it out of his paw. And then the puppy's like, yay! And then starts licking Lumpy's face. Or, not Lumpy, Dan. Dan's face. If I say Lumpy, I mean Dan. It's because I watch a podcast and I'm new to this podcast thing, so if I say Lumpy, I mean Dan. Alright? So then Dan says that, well, no, he doesn't say anything. He helps the puppy, and Dan starts getting a good feeling in his heart. So that's good. Then he takes the puppy home, because the puppy loves him, and then he says, I need to think of a name for you. He was thinking of naming him Gray. I don't know why, but that's what he decided to maybe name him. He wasn't sure yet, so from now on he just called him Gray, I guess. So Dan said, come on Gray, let's go. And then so Gray followed Dan to the house, and then went inside, put the puppy in the chest. Wait, no. Put the puppy on the floor, shut the door, and then the puppy was whining because he was hungry. So Lumpy was getting hungry too, and the sun was about to go away. So he took the cooked chicken out of the furnace, gave a little piece to Gray, and then ate the other rest of the chicken, and also had an apple because there wasn't a lot of chicken. So yeah, he did that, and then he went to bed, woke up the next morning, and then he looked outside, and guess what he saw? He saw a creeper right in front of his face. So he turns around, shuts the door, and then grabs his pistol out of his pocket, which he forgot to put in the chest, turns the safety off, opens the door, and shoots the creeper right before it explodes. So, okay. This gun works good. I mean, it's just a pistol. But it works. Okay. So we're okay. We're gonna probably run out of ammo. So then, Dan goes out into the forest with the puppy, and then goes into a cave, and then he's just searching around. He doesn't really like it in there, and puppy's whining to go back. So they go back, and then Lumpy finds another stream, not beside his house, but just another stream in the forest. He also finds a stick, and then he shot a spider, and then he got a string, so he made a fishing rod, and then he cast it out. He waited like 30 minutes, and then he finally got something pulling. And then so it pulled and pulled, as Lumpy reeled in and yanked, and then he caught a bass. He caught a bass. And then the puppy is like, ah! And Gray is just wagging his tail. Gray was such a young little puppy that when he wagged his tail, his head wagged. So as that happened, like, Gray was like biting the fish, or the bass, Gray was. And as that was happening, Lumpy was trying to get Puppy away so he could like bring the fish. So he did that. Gray was very energetic at the time because he was still a little puppy. So then Lumpy says, I think I should go on a mission. Like, go out exploring far. I know I haven't been here long, but it's telling me, go out far. So then he puts Puppy at home, shuts the door. Puppy starts whining, but Lumpy says, no, stay here. And Lumpy thinks, I'm gonna be out there long. Maybe I shouldn't put a puppy in a house with no food. fine, Puppy, you can come with. So he opens the door, Puppy goes, yip, 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 and then follows Lumpy. Lumpy is just bored of listening to yip, 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 yip. So Lumpy keeps walking, and walking, and walking, and then he sees a house. He starts running instead. Puppy can't keep up, so Lumpy grabs Puppy, puts him in his arms, and starts running with Puppy in his arms, with Gray in his arms, and then comes to the village and says, I am going out adventuring. Could any of you take my puppy? And then they all say, her. And then Dan's like, thanks. Gives them the puppy and a leash. And then Puppy starts yipping when Dan goes away. And then when Dan goes away, Puppy gets really sad. And then so Dan goes out, is just adventuring and just walking. He has all the stuff. He took all the stuff from the house and has it. Yes, he has his pistol and 11 bullets. Then he finds this garage. He opens the door and guess what he saw? A car. And then 5 more bullets. So he takes the bullets, now he has 16. So he loads the pistol, puts it on safety. Then he sees the car. He looks inside, there's no motor. He's like, oh no. There's a really nice car here, but there's no motor for me to drive. So then he looks around back. Then around back, guess what he saw? A V8 motor. 8 cylinders in a V shape. And Lumpy is like, oh yeah. Puts the V8 in his arms, very heavy. Slowly brings it over to the car. Puts it in the engine bay. Don't know how it fits. It doesn't know how it fits. And then he finds a wrench and a pliers, and he's like, I'm pretty good with mechanics, right? Maybe it's a natural talent. So he starts fixing the engine and stuff, and then he finds a gas tank out back on the side. And then so he grabs the gas tank, fills up the car. He also finds some oil inside that jack, puts it in the motor, and he says, oh yeah. Gets in the car with all the doors shut on the garage, and then revs it a little, puts the parking brake off, and goes. So he bursts right through the doors, and then just starts driving. And then he looks and he sees some poles while he's driving. And then he turns and he goes toward them. He has to avoid trees while he's going here, so he does that. And then he's going there, and then he sees the poles, and it was actually a road with poles on the side. So he starts going on the road, just driving, and then he hears the engine going. And then he put park brake on, pulled over, checked the engine, and then guess what? The engine had blown up because it didn't have enough oil. So now his V8 was literally gone. He had nothing to drive his car. So he took the V8 out, put it in the back in case he could use it sometime, like if he could repair it. And then he started pushing the car. So he put it in neutral, starts pushing the car as fast as he can, starts running, runs as fast as he ever can, and then the car starts slowing down, so he gets in the driver's seat, and then he's like, yes, okay, so at least we can roll there. And then he sees a horse. So he takes one of his extra leashes that he had for Gray, but instead uses it for the horse. And then he named the horse Nightmare, because the horse was really, really hard to get the leash on. So he gets the leash on, ties it to his car, takes a stick in one of his apples, puts it on, and a string, ties the string to the apple and to the stick, and then the stick is really long, so Lumpy can hold it from in the car. He broke the glass, took the stick from in the car and the apple, was hanging in front of Nightmare, so Nightmare was running as fast as he ever could. And then just keeps going really fast. They're going like 40 miles per hour. And then like they're just going because Lumpy is in neutral, or not Lumpy, Dan's in neutral going, so he does that. He's going neutral. Nightmare's taking him so far, and then Nightmare jumps this river gap where the tides were really low, and then the car was so heavy and it wasn't going fast enough that it didn't make the jump. The back end caught, or the back wheel caught when it went over. The front wheel made it, but the back didn't, because there was a V8 in the back. And then Nightmare got yanked forward from the leash and cut off. And Lumpy dropped the stick. The stick perfectly landed on Nightmare with the lead tying it to Nightmare, because the stick like fell in there, because that's where Lumpy had it. And the Nightmare just took off. So Lumpy was stranded in the middle of nowhere with a V8 engine, a crafting table, a gun with 16 bullets. Engine was a broken engine. And a couple of logs and a couple of sticks. And some apples. And he's like, oh boy. So, if you liked this, make sure you like and subscribe for some more Lumpy, or more Dan in Minecraft. And yeah, comment down below if there's anything that you think I should add to the storyline, and we'll see you next time. Bye.